So this is basically the beginning of my like sports. I wouldn't say podcast. I would say like my radio show. Basically, like I'm not gonna say podcast because the podcast is basically just well, fuck it. Yeah, this is basically sort of like my startup for my own sports podcast slash radio show. And a few things I want to go ahead and talk about is college football playoffs, which as we know, well, y'all don't know, but as I know, the first round just happened. So first thing I will talk about is people talk about how it wasn't really competitive, which I think since it's the first like year they're doing the 12 year. I mean not 12, they're doing the 12 team expansion. I think this kind of what a lot of people didn't expect to see because they was like, oh, 12 teams to make it better. Well, no. When you look at the past like college football playoffs, you see the first rounds, like you'll see blowouts all the time. People are acting like the blowouts this year are different than the blowouts from the past previous years, which to me is it's all the same. There was I remember a semifinal with Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers whooping on, I think it was Oklahoma or something, like 60 something to 20. And there's plenty of old playoff games where it's like the first round of semifinals that you see, you thought they were going to be competitive, but they weren't. It was just same old from the past. There was some competitive game. Well, wasn't some. It was one competitive game, which was the Clemson versus Texas, and that was the most competitive out of all the first rounds. But even when you look at that game, Clemson lost by 2 scores. They lost 38-24. They lost by 14. They had a chance to probably make a comeback and had to make it closer, but they fucked it up on a 4th and like 3 and a 4th and 10. But yeah, so another thing to that point is we noticed that all the home teams won. Like every single home team that had a chance to play the first round playoff game at home has won. Notre Dame won. The home team advantage for them kind of wasn't an advantage because Indiana and Notre Dame both play in Indiana, so it wasn't that far. So I would say that one wasn't much of a home field advantage. It was more just Notre Dame was just better. Penn State versus SMU, that was a big advantage. There's SMU fans on the other side of the end zone, but when they got to the all-white Penn State student section, they couldn't hear nothing in their red zone. That messed up a lot of their plays, a lot of their points. They did seem a little phased by the cold. So, then of course with Texas, the weather wasn't really much of an impact. Home crowd wasn't much of an impact because they still had a fighting chance. So I feel like that game was just Texas being better. Ohio State, Tennessee, that was just Ohio State being better. There's nothing I can say about that. That's just Ohio State being better. Another thing about that is you can't really get mad at a home team in the first round playoff because they deserved it. They were the higher seeding. They played better. They should have the better chance of having a home field advantage when they earned it. Like if you earn it, keep it. Where the seeding's wrong, whereas the college football playoff like it was in the past. I feel like seedings weren't wrong. The only thing I would have changed is, I guess, put South Carolina in. Put a team that shows they can win no matter where they at. They can win in Clemson. They can win on the road. Put a team like them in to win. But then again, win your games in the regular season. And this wouldn't happen. So it's just like you can't please everybody. You just have to do the best you can do. And I feel like if I would have put a 3-loss team in, I would have put South Carolina in over anybody because they had the better, I'll say, resume. Even though they lost to Alabama, that loss was literally within the last second. They have better, I think, everything else to them is just definitely better. Hold up. What else? Oh yeah, Oregon. So y'all might not know, but Oregon is my favorite college football team, and we got a rematch against Ohio State. We won the first game 32-31. Last second, Will Howard, slid. Thought he had enough time to call a timeout for the field goal to put him in range. He did it, and we won the game. Now we will be playing in the Rose Bowl in Cali. Us versus Ohio State again, the rematch people were looking for that they thought they were going to get in the Big Ten championship, but they didn't. Now we got the rematch. And the reason why, well, I know we will win, but to talk a little about the matchup, we both have high-powered offenses. We have a good run game with Jordan James and Noah Whittington. We have good receivers with Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart on the outside. I forgot, what's his name? I forgot my boy name. He wore 11. Last time he played Ohio State, he got ejected for spitting, which we're not going to have that issue this time. Then we got Terrence Ferguson, Treshawn Holden, that's his name. We have Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, Treshawn Holden, Terrence Ferguson. We have good receivers. The backfield is good. O-line can hold up. So our offense is high powered just like theirs is with their running back duo, with Jeremiah Smith, with Emeka Ibuka. Like, they have a high powered offense. We have a high powered offense. So we know that it's going to be a shootout, just like how it was last time. Score. It's going to come back to who defense can basically make that stop. Hold on. There's another light. Gotta turn this way. Ooh. But yeah. It's gonna come to basically who can just stop who. Last time we was able to get the last stop, but I still think that our defense will be able to hold. We'll probably get a little bit more pressure to Will Howard than they will be able to get pressure to Dylan Gabriel. But it's going to come down to which defense can make the stand. I have more faith in our DBs than that I have in theirs. So like I said, it's going to be more of a game you have to watch that you can guess at. Like I said, I have a score predicted that we'll win 34-24 or 31-24. We'll win by one possession. Or kick a last second field goal to make it a 10-point game. I think that'll be the outcome because I think if we get one stop, forcing the punt one time, and we just keep scoring, and then they come back scoring, that one stop that we got will be the chance. That'll be the difference in the game between us winning. That'll be the reason we win, because we will win. NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm a Panthers fan. And with being a Panthers fan, it's a disappointing season, but I like what I've seen towards the end. At the beginning of the season, it was struggles. Bryce Young got benched. But with him coming back, we've seen a different Bryce. And by seeing a different Bryce, I mean his confidence is a bit back. Confidence is there. He has a little swag on the field and all that. And when you see these games that we was in, you see, in the last 3 close games we had Chiefs, last second field goal, Mahomes, whatever the bullshit black magic he got going on. They won by a field goal. The Bucks, OT, they missed a field goal, get in field goal range, but instead of trying to go ahead and kick the field goal to win, we want to get closer. Triple Purple fumble, it is what it is. But that's a game we literally had won. So that's 2 games, and with the recent Philadelphia Eagles game where Xavier Legette dropped a wide open touchdown, that's 3 games that could have been won, but they didn't. But that's 3 games that we just got our 4th win, which would have made us 7-8. And that makes us a wild card team. So it's more those close games against really good teams, playoff teams, just shows me that we're not bad. We had a bad start, but we were able to finish pretty well. And we also have to think of how our defense is injured. Linebackers is hurt, D-lineman is hurt. So with all that, we still were able to have a good fighting chance against these playoff teams and win. We just beat the Cardinals. Now we have the Bucks and the Falcons. We could still finish with 6-11. But if we had those wins back, we'll be able to finish 9-8. So it just shows you that we have a fighting chance. And going into next season, I think going into next season, I think it's more like if we can keep the defense healthy. Draft hopefully an edge rusher, because I seen that in the draft board that we may pull Abdul Carter from Penn State. It's pretty nice, basically like another Micah Parsons, basically. But we can just keep the defense healthy. Offense basically stays what it is. They just get more experience. Not that they're not rookies. We might draft a receiver at like the third round or something, but just keep doing what we're doing. We'll basically have a positive season, and I think we'll have a chance at a playoff run, definitely. And that's all my topics for right now.